Ladies and gentlemen, my guest this week.
Joining me this week in the studio is Kevin Metcalfe.
Metcalfe, close enough, man. What's the story?
AKA the Ballymun Bruiser. Kevin, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Oh, brother, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, sorry about the name. It's a bit of a tricky name.
Yeah, grand. I'll get you back next time. A few chops.
Oh yeah, don't want that. Anyway, so you're a veteran of over 10 years now in the wrestling industry.
Yeah, God, unfortunately, I'm 27 now, and I started when I was 15 years of age.
So what inspired you to be a professional wrestler at that age?
Oh, I really don't know. If I could go back and get my senses, I probably wouldn't have done it. I always liked wrestling. I loved watching wrestling when I was growing up, fan of the 80s and then the Attitude Era and everything else, like most people our age.
Yeah.
Then I seen the revival British wrestling show on Bravo, and I had guys like Jody Fleisch and Doug Williams and things like that, and they were wrestling Eddie Guerrero, and Eddie Guerrero was a huge star back then.
Of course.
So that interested me in these British lads. I'd never seen them before, and then all of a sudden there was the Wrestling Channel, and with the Wrestling Channel came an advertisement for a show featuring Doug Williams, and I was like, I just seen this guy wrestled Eddie Guerrero. So I went on, looked at the website and seen they had a wrestling school, and I was boxing and stuff, so I was like, you know what, I fancy myself, I think I can give this a shot. No, I was wrong. I got my ass whooped. I got a lot of beat downs, but that was the start of it all, you know.
So you have a character as the Ballymun Bruiser, which comes off as a very tough, rough sort of character.
Not like me at all.
From the flats of Ballymun. Are you actually from Ballymun yourself?
Yeah, I'm from Coultry. Road right beside Virgin Mary. That's where I grew up.
Okay.
I was there for probably 21 years, I think, before we moved out, and then eventually the flats were knocked down. The character came about one night. There was promoter of Irish Wrestling, Simon Rochford, a good friend of mine. We were there. I was supposed to ref. I was probably 16 years of age.
Right.
I was supposed to ref a show. I get a call. I get a text off him. Sorry, you know. And it goes, "You're Ballymun Bruiser tonight. A heel, from the north side of Dublin, persona." And that was all. And then I was like, all right, let's run with this. It'll probably change in a couple of weeks, but 10, 11 years later, still called the same thing, you know.
There you go. And is there other people that inspired your persona or your style, especially the brawler style that you have, or is it mostly from the Ballymun background?
No, it wouldn't have. At the start, I was a comedy wrestler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was a comedy wrestler. Me, and I don't know if you ever heard of him, but Madman Manson. Me and him kind of broke in together, and we kind of realised that we could get a better reaction by doing ha-ha spots than by breaking our necks or doing too many moves or whatever. And it's all about longevity here. I probably didn't get into that brawling aggressive style until I took a short break, and when I came back I seen that I had a reputation for just kind of being snug and tight in the ring, and then all of a sudden it just kind of kept going and going, and that's it. Like, it's just, I chop and I punch and I kick and I suplex, and that's about all I got, you know.
That's pretty cool. So as you said, you're a veteran of now 10 years here in the wrestling industry. Like, how many different organisations have you been wrestling for, both here and abroad?
God
bless you.
Sorry, it's countless, to be honest with you. I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of guys from all over the world, to work in a lot of countries. I've wrestled in Ireland extensively now. I've wrestled in every county for almost every organisation that's ran. I've been lucky enough to be a part of some of the biggest shows in Ireland, including OTT at the moment. It's countless, really, you know. It's just, I know last year I think I kept a count. I'd done 54 shows in a year.
Wow.
So I was busy, you know.
So that's like one a week essentially.
Yeah, but it's more like two on a weekend, 3 on a weekend, and then a break, but yeah, it averages out a little bit more than one a week.
That's cool, man. And speaking of the local scene, like you're going to be performing for CCW down in Cork, among other different organisations over next month. Yeah,
I think it's. I'm pretty busy now. Basically, the summer season kicks off, a very busy season in wrestling. I presume kids are off, so people are trying to get them to it a lot more. So right now I've got Irish Wrestling coming up, then Cork CCW, OTT is coming up, Best is coming up. There's a lot of places coming up pretty much every weekend now. I think I might have a day off the end of June, and then after that it's all go until mid-September.
That's cool, man. Now you said you were watching the Attitude Era when you first started wrestling. Who are your favourite wrestlers growing up, or even right now?
Growing up, it's always different to when you get into the business. When I got into the business, I changed slightly on who I liked and who I thought's the best. But I'll say that growing up, I was a Hogan fan, big time Hogan fan. That big boot leg drop, no one's kicking up. And then Austin, beer drinking, middle finger, rebellion. You know, I was at that age where you want to rebel in school, and everyone's a bad guy, and he fitted in perfectly. Now, if I look back, I think the best wrestler that from my opinion, from my money, was probably Mr. Perfect. And I God, watching his work now, and I'm still stunned. No matter what, like the way he can bump, the way he can sell. It was that dramatic overselling nearly, but he convinced you that he's just done this.
Absolutely.
You know, it was amazing. Like so, without a doubt, if I look back, I have to say Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig is without a doubt the best worker I've ever seen. But there's a lot of guys I always enjoyed growing up.
In particular, Kurt Hennig. So,
Yeah.
well, as I said, he's like as good a technical wrestler as there's ever been. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
anyway, so.
It's not even that. It's when you watch one of his matches, and from my end, watch how he takes a turnbuckle. The next time you're watching a Mr. Perfect match, just look at how he takes a turnbuckle, and just remember that reaction and his reaction and how you believe it.
So, for everything that's happened in your wrestling career so far, what would be the one highlight of your career so far?
There's been a lot, to be honest with you. I've been lucky enough to wrestle some of the guys from WWE, some of the guys from TNA, WCW, ECW.
Cool.
You know, there's a lot of highlights. I've wrestled Eugene, Rene Dupree, Carl Ouellette. That was pretty fun because he was really an old school guy. Do you remember the Quebecers back in the day?
I do.
Yeah, Carl Ouellette. I tag teamed with him for a little while around the
way.
country. Tracy Smothers, Kid Cash, Doug Bashams. It'd be name dropping if I keep going and going, but it's just that the list was seemingly endless at one stage. Balls Mahoney wrestled, so I had a lot of fun with him back in the day. He was a good guy and a crazy character, and he always had something fun with him, you know. And
was there a particular wrestler back, like especially from those names that you mentioned, that you enjoyed being in the ring with, or is there any other wrestlers that from the Irish scene that you were favourite to be in the ring with?
Yeah, from them guys, you had a lot of fun with like Tracy Smothers or Eugene. Because they're like these southern boys, and they just like to have fun, especially when they're over here on tour. So the matches are always interesting. From here, this country, the list is endless. If you're in the ring with Luther Ward, it's great. If you're in the ring with Cambo Cray from Irish Wrestling, it's great. Keego Ward, incredible. Or Jerry Carcass, as you know him as. Bingo Balance, always going to have fun with. You know, the list is endless with those lads, but they can all, once it comes go time, they're going to go, you know, we're going to get hit hard, we're going to put on a show, and we're going to have fun doing it.
Speaking of Jerry Carcass, Neil, he was on the show here last week, and he considered yourself as one of his best friends in the industry. Would you say the same for himself?
That's an honour. Likewise,
or who else would you consider one of your best friends in the industry as well? Like, I presume there's more than just...
there is. No, it's not for Keego to say that. Like, he is one of my best mates in the game, and we talk nearly every day. Same with Bingo Balance, Cambo, Jerry... Oh, sorry, what's his name? Rick Nash, as you know him as him. All good mates. We all keep a close-knit group. We're all chit-chatting. We all stay in close contact. You all drift away. If you're not on the exact same show with a lot of guys, you know it's a job. So we don't automatically build up relationships, but when we can, we cherish them, you know.
That's pretty cool. So again, like, what long-term or short-term goals you hope to achieve now whilst you're in the wrestling industry? I
just want to get out in one piece now. You know what I mean? I've had a fun run. It's not over yet, but I've enjoyed it, and now my main goal is that when I do decide that my time, you know, I'm finished, to be, you know, pain free.
Cool. That's a honest way to go, especially considering like a long career you've had. Like, what would be your favourite wrestling matches growing up? What's probably the best match you've ever seen?
Oh, wow.
You don't have to pick one. You can pick as many as you want.
Austin Angle. I think it was it Unforgiven or something? Was after a SummerSlam one.
Is that the one where he
maybe
won?
It was SummerSlam. Yeah, Angle took the belt.
Yeah.
Man, that was insane. That was very good. Who else was that? There was from that one. What else did I love growing up? I'm trying to think. I always enjoyed watching back on Savage Hogan. Still to this day, it's a great storytelling match from WrestleMania 5.
Is there a particular match from Kurt Hennig that you particularly like?
Man, just anything he does. I swear, him and Bret Hart were incredible.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But him and Ric Flair were incredible. Him and WCW is incredible. It was his bumping and selling. He could be in there with a broomstick, and it was going to be an incredible match. You know, he could sell and make you believe in anyone. I remember Red Rooster in him, and I thought Red Rooster all of a sudden had knife-edge chops and could, you know, do all these amazing things. You look back, he was good, but it was perfect, making him look good.
Yeah. And finally, one last question I have to ask you. We always ask silly questions as a last one. If you could pick any three wrestlers in the world, living or dead, to be in your 4-person stable, let's say you're the Ric Flair of it, or the Triple H, whatever you want to call it. Who would they be and why?
Okay.
And what would you call yourselves?
Well, the name I'm not gonna. I'm really. You can name us.
All right.
I'll name the lads. You named it stable.
All right.
Obviously perfect. Then let's go with that. Let's put in Kenny Omega because he looks ridiculous. Yeah, and he does some crazy stuff.
I remember him coming out for New Japan, and he was like, he took one of the guys' microphone sets and was like dying, like his theme song to it. Like, so
like, anyone that looks like they're having fun out there,
well, he's
man.
such a nutcase.
No, that's it, crazy. And Tracy Smothers, because that guy is absolutely insane and hilarious to be around.
Ooh, I'll call you guys now. The Perfect Bruise Club.
Nice one. I like it.
So yeah, so that's a nice title. We can leave this interview. So Kevin, thanks very much for coming in. Like,
No,
I look
cheers for
forward to
having me.
seeing you again soon, and you can catch the Ballymun Bruiser like over the next few weeks in different stages, including CCW and what other places do you say?
Over the Top Wrestling and Irish Root Wrestling. Just check out them on Facebook and you'll see all
Check
the
them all out on
details.
Facebook. And so Kevin, thanks very much for coming in. Really
Cheers
appreciate
for having me, buddy. I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.